Join me as I dive into the world of drift suspension and try to figure out exactly what makes it so amazing. Drift suspension is a crucial component in the world of motorsports, particularly in drifting. It's what sets drift cars apart from regular street cars, and it's what allows drivers to perform those insane slides and turns that leave us all in awe. When it comes to drifting, standard suspension systems just don't cut it. One of the biggest issues drivers face is body roll, the tendency of the car to lean to one side when taking a turn. This makes it incredibly difficult to maintain control and precision, which is essential for drifting. Another problem is the lack of adjustability in standard suspension systems. Drifting requires a very specific type of suspension tuning, and most standard systems just aren't designed to accommodate that. Standard suspension systems also tend to be softly sprung, which is great for comfort on the street but terrible for high-performance driving like drifting. This means that the car is more prone to pitching and rolling, making it even harder to control. And finally, standard suspension systems often have limited travel, which means they can bottom out or top out easily, causing the tires to lose contact with the road and making the car even more unstable. All of these limitations make it extremely difficult for drivers to achieve the level of precision and control they need to drift effectively. And that's where drift suspension comes in, a specialized system designed specifically for the unique demands of drifting. So, what makes up a drift suspension system? Well, one of the key components is coilovers. These allow for much more precise control over the suspension, and they can be adjusted to accommodate different driving styles and track conditions. Sway bars are another critical component. These help to reduce body roll and improve handling. And then there are camber adjustments, which allow drivers to fine-tune the angle of their wheels for optimal grip and traction. All of these components work together to create a suspension system that's finely tuned for the specific demands of drifting. And the result is a level of performance and control that's simply unmatched by standard suspension systems. I mean, I've seen drivers take a stock car with a standard suspension and try to drift it, and it's like night and day compared to a car with a proper drift suspension setup. I remember one time I was at the track and I saw a guy in a heavily modified drift car taking on the course. He was sliding around corners and throwing his car into turns like it was nobody's business. And then I saw another guy in a stock car trying to do the same thing. Let's just say it didn't end well. The difference between those two cars was like night and day, and it all came down to the suspension. The modified car had a fully customized drift suspension setup, and it showed. Having the right drift suspension setup is truly transformative. It's the difference between struggling to control your car and being able to toss it around like a rag doll. It's the difference between being a mediocre driver and being a master of the track. Thanks for watching, and I want to hear from you guys. What's your experience been like with drift suspension? Have you ever had a car with a specialized setup? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more content on drifting and car culture. I've got a video coming up on tuning techniques that you won't want to miss.